is. Okie dokie, 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 okie dokie. Okay, there's Patrick hugging the dog. Okay, all right.
I know it's in it everywhere. This is it, right, Patrick? Yeah.
This is where it started. We'll remember, we'll look back and laugh at this. I'll make it the iPad, I'll show you how it looks. I'll show you how it really looks.
There's Patrick's house, a shot of Calabasas from up here, right?
Right across that's Calabasas over there. So we're around the edge, Woodland Hills. Just pop the screen out the window. It's the bathroom. You gotta climb out and get it.
Okay, then him and the dog, like the yard. There I am, and picture me. Okay, there is the studio. Okay, Chuck Labella had offered me office space while we tried to figure out 3 podcasts and how to start a horror division for Full Circle. And Patrick wanted me to come by the studio and meet his friend John McKenzie, who owned a hero shop in Philadelphia, and he supposedly has like the best cheesesteaks, and he really wanted me to chase these cheesesteaks. So I was like, okay, that sounds great. So I show up at the studio, and John McKenzie is there, and there's a gentleman named Rennie Rodriguez, and Rennie is an investor in a liquor company, and the gentleman who invented this vodka, this mixture, was there as well. I'm not really sure his name. It's like Alex. It's like a Polish Russian name, and these guys are really nice guys, and Rennie's got like this like tan, and he's telling me he was in the insurance business, and he wants to get this liquor off the ground, and I don't really know what's going on. I think that I'm just there to meet Patrick's friends John, and I'm thinking Chuck Labella really wants me to do this podcast, and I'm going to be doing these movies. So next thing you know, I realize I'm in a liquor presentation, and Chuck is there, and the gentleman who invented the vodka is explaining what the vodka is, what's in the vodka, how he makes the vodka, where they distribute the vodka. And as I'm sitting there, I'm recognizing that nobody's edifying Chuck Labella. They're not saying, oh, this is, Chuck has worked on Celebrity Apprentice. He has done Who's Smarter Than a Fifth Grader. He's cast all of these reality shows.
And let it marinate, pardon the pun, and let him think about it tonight.
Have you looked up Chuck's everything?
Yeah.
You should look up every cast member that's ever been on anything, because he actually knows everybody. He knows there's
the who's who.
It doesn't matter who.
Yeah.
He doesn't know them.
Well, he did 10 years of Celebrity Apprentice, and he had they all had 25 celebrities, and that's 250 right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but he did Woods. I mean, he's done everything. I mean, he used to do. He worked with Casey Kasem back in the day at Westwood Radio 1. He's the one who interviewed all the celebrities. He knows Tom Hanks. He knows everybody.
I was looking for
It doesn't matter who.
He knows Kid Rock. I'm looking at the liquor, and I'm thinking all the people that Chuck has worked with. Gene Simmons. You can put Kiss on that. Like, who is it that Chuck knows that these vodka people would be interested in? Because I'm interested in helping Chuck. So I'm there, and they're talking about the vodka, and these guys are professionals. This is their business. I'm realizing now, like when I watch it, am I the mark? Is it me? Who's the mark in this room right now? Is it Chuck? Is it the vodka guys? Are they trying to figure out how to get it done? Because if you look at the date, I just gave Patrick the money a day beforehand.
I just need to know that we're going to get this done today. That's what I need to know, because these fucking guys are on me right now. I'm getting these right now. I can't deal with that.
I don't have the money.
Patrick's kind of in a good mood. Look, things are going good. That's a different Patrick that you're looking at in those videos. So they show up at the studio. Patrick Patrick takes him on a tour. The thing that is going to be the next big thing. And why do I know that? Because I've been taken on this exact same tour. So they're taking the vodka guys through the Howie Mandel building as if like it's their building, and they're all getting into the act like it's an amusement park.
Yeah.
So they're inside the hologram box talking about the vodka, and then we go walking past the podcast studios, out the back door, across the street, into what is now going to become the Full Circle Studios. So Patrick has me believing that he's in charge of all of this, and that he is the guy building the studio next door for Bill Maher and for Chris Case and for Chuck, and that he's the chief of staff. He's running all of this. But what Chris Case told me is, no, Patrick is a low-level intern. You're talking, he's recording me. So Chris Case is telling me after the fact, and you'll hear it on the tape, that Patrick Thompson is a low-level media guy. He's a lowly paid intern. I'm like, wow. And if you think about it, like the Sixth Sense, and you play it back, was Patrick ever there? You know, it's like, he's there. If you notice, Patrick's like he's bouncing around. It's a happy energy. It's not a nervous energy. He's bringing his friends together. Here's John McKenzie. Here's Rennie Rodriguez. Here's the vodka guy. Well, here's Chuck Labella. Chuck Labella does all these reality shows. So Patrick is bringing the liquor guys to meet Chuck, and he's got me there because I'm the guy who's on television. I'm on City on a Hill. I sold movies. I put Workaholics on the air. Chuck Labella's a producer on the first season of Workaholics. How do I know? I gave him the credit. So all along in my career, I met Chuck Labella with Will Arnett back in 1990 in New York City, and we all went to school together as actors. Later on, I would produce a play with Will Arnett, and Chuck Labella would produce that play with me. It was called Answers. Chuck and I had a camaraderie from that. So, for me, it was another day in Hollywood.
When you work with great people, they bring it. And when they show up, you just got to get out of the way. Chuck, I know that you are not involved in any of this shit, but your boy Patrick has left me hanging. Hey, I'm trying to get in touch with you. What's going on? So, aggravated that this human being borrowed this money and has no intention of giving it back. Chuck, I have business to do. He's making me chase him around, and I'm starting to get really upset. So, please call him. He has not returned my calls, and it's in his best interest not to lie to me. I'll talk to you later, brother.
I heard they went to Bill Maher's club room, and I heard Chris Case was not happy with that and basically kicked those guys out of that studio. And then the very next day would be the presidential election, where we would all meet back at the studio. And that is where I would meet Rebecca Salgado.